So we think we're gonna hire someone to mud tape and sand this space, but in order to get the heat pump in, we wanna make sure that we get this part done, so I'm gonna do it. It's not really my favorite thing to do. We also used the mesh tape, and the mesh tape also is not my favorite tape to use. I do kind of like the paper a little better. This is better for if you're patching a hole, though some people prefer this for this space as well. So that's what we have, so that's what I'm using for this. I got my tape up, now I'm going to start mudding. So open the corners first. I'm just going to fill it in with some, and then I'm going to come through with a trowel that's specially made for corners. So first, just going to fill it in. Really the trick is to use as little of this as possible. As you go over several coats, and eventually it fully covers, and that will give you less sanding. I haven't mastered the complete art of it. Some people are really good. I'm okay with it. I got what I want on there. Now I'm going to come through with the corner trowel. So I'm going to wipe away any excess and leave a nice thin coat. And then we'll come back and do it several times. So now that I have the upper corner done, now I'm going to do the sides. And again, just a thin layer. So for here, because of the way it's joined together, it actually has a space for all of the joint compound to go into. So as you pull away, there's actually a nice channel there for you. And so as long as you keep it inside that, and then go down nice and smooth, should get not really any lines. And usually you do this 3 or 4 coats, but as you can see, it is nice and smooth. I'm not going to have to really sand too much. You do sand between a little bit in between each one, so that way you can do your next coat. You don't typically put your coat on top of one that hasn't been sanded. We only got a small bucket of joint compound, so kind of working out of a small bucket. But I do like to typically put it on a pallet like this anyways. It makes it easy to get more and get rid of your excess as well. So this comes in handy even if you have a big bucket. I just tend to goop it in there, and then you come back and wipe it away after. And then you can tend to see the places that need a little more that you didn't quite get enough in. And you can goop it there some more. And just run right over it. Yeah, that seam has its first coat. And then I'll come back in after it's dried, come back and sand it lightly, and then I'll do another coat. I'm going to move on to the other seam, and then I'm going to fill in the screw holes as well. So you can see I pulled it away. It's going to start drying. Now I'm just going to fill in all the screw holes, and then that one coat is done. So I actually don't mind mudding. It's really the sanding piece, and if you do it well, you don't have to sand too much, but I still feel like it's messy. And then I don't really like to mud the ceilings because you're always like reaching up and it really hurts your neck. So other than that, I don't mind mudding the walls. As you can see, I'm using a smaller tool for the screw holes. it dries, the joint compound does shrink a little, so you'll notice that even if it looks like that you have leveled it out, it will shrink in a little bit. So that's another reason why you do more than one coat, but also just to get rid of all your unevenness. So it's all dry now, dried up nicely. Next thing I need to do is sand it a little bit and then put another coat on. There's a few options. There's a few options for sanding. I like the blocks. They're easy to hold in your hand, or you can use paper. And another thing is going over it with a sponge and some water also helps to just smooth it out, and then it makes less dust. So when you're sanding, you just want to go lightly. You don't want to take a lot away. And you really shouldn't have left too much there anyways when you wiped it down. You just want to get all the rough edges off. The holes will fill in when you do your next coat, and then it gets even better with the third and the fourth coat. So sanding. And then also, if you had put water on this, wipe it down, and it also helps smooth it out, and like I said, less dust if you do that. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of sanding here, and then I'll talk to you again about what to do next. So I sanded it lightly, and now I'm using a damp sponge just to go over it. Some people just sand, some people just use the wet sponge. You just got to use what makes you feel good, or what works best. You just try it and see. And now we're going to repeat what we did in the first part of this video. Also, we're going to repeat those noises. So, very light again. It's not going to take as much mud this time. Joint compound, because we've already gone over it once. Now it should use even less. So again, just very lightly put it on. Just wipe it away. You will see it filling in that little indentation that they leave on the edge of drywall. The butt joints are a little more difficult, and you probably should do the butt joints first. Just for the sake of this video, I started there to show you, but you're going to do the same thing in the corners as we did earlier. And you repeat this process until you get it as good as you want. Like I said, 3 coats is usually pretty good. If you really want it great, you could do a 4th coat. Some people, especially in garages, only do 2. But where this is going to be partially a living space, we are going to do the 3 coats. So this is a good sign right here. Like, you can see how it's drying right in that seam. And then there's barely anything out here to the sides, which I can easily get away. Here we are, 3rd and final coat. It's actually pretty smooth, but I'm gonna go over with sandpaper and sponge one more time, and then put on the final coat. And time for the final coat. And then I'll lightly sand that one more time, and then I'm gonna put the primer on today, and then we will be all ready for the heat pump install. Final time sanding, and then I'm going to put some primer on it, and the heat pump is coming on Friday. So exciting. Typically you wait up around 24 hours before you do the next one, but we've been leaving for the whole weekend, so it's been a whole weekend. It's been a whole week since I had done this last time. My least favorite part, the sanding, and especially sanding a ceiling, hurts your neck. Looking up. That's why we're gonna hire someone to do this. Fun, huh? So what you basically want to see, so you can kind of see, is it's pretty much solid in that little area that they give you. So if you look over here, it's kind of like a little sunken area right here. That's the area that you're filling up to make it nice and even. And if we go over here, you can see that I've done that here, but down here, I got a little more sanding to do. Ideally, you want to wipe away as much as you can. Like down there, I did pretty good. So then you have less sanding to do. All right, sanding done. Last coat of sanding done. Now I'm just gonna wipe away some of the excess. I already swept the floor. I'm probably gonna have to sweep again. And then I'm gonna prime it. So as I'm wiping away, you can see that pretty much just filled in here. That's all minor stuff. I think that is just surface level. I don't feel any bumps or anything, so it shouldn't show up. See right here, didn't sand enough, so that's why wiping down helps you out, because you can kind of see the places that you missed. So now I need to sand a little more right there. So the final step before paint is primer. That's the last thing I'm going to do here, and I will prime the whole thing all at once, and with a roller. Roller's going to give it a different texture, but I am going to prime. I don't know if that noise is bothering you, so I'll wait. So I am going to prime right now with a brush, but I'll do a second set of primer with a roller to give it that texture, so that way it looks even all the way around the garage. But for now I do want to protect what I've already done, so I am going to prime this whole area, so that the person that comes in and does the rest of this for me, I'm not going to prime up here like any of this, just so he can sand if he needs to, or she. Same way probably from here over, I'm probably just gonna prime from like here down. So that's all I'm going to do for priming until I'm ready to do the whole garage, because right now we're not even close. But at least it's ready for the heat pump, and that was my goal. Like I said, we're going to try to hire someone else to do the rest of the mudding and taping and sanding. But if you want to do it on your own, then this was a good quick video to show you how to do that on your own. Especially if you just want to do a small part like this to kind of prep things for what's coming next. Or if you want to do the full job, that's totally up to you. Good luck if you do. See you in the next video. If you find my videos useful or entertaining, please click like and subscribe. Thank you.